think that we are disrespecting Kenny. We're all saying it, the same thing, but it was one race. If I was saying what I watched, I'd be like, yo, it was one race. It was one
That's
race.
nah. He can prove me wrong. Trust me. I'm a Kenny
He's gonna
Bednarek
have
fan.
to because
I
until he
mean,
does it, just like we said, T Mars and Courtney aren't
Courtney. Mhm.
necessarily hitters. You're not a hitter until you show you're a hitter.
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
not a
And
you. Look ahead.
I was going to say, just to be fair to Kenny, I think it's just he has that 9.79, but after that, he doesn't have as many consistent 9.8s. Because even last year, he ran 9.87 at the Olympic trials to make the team, and then he ran 9.88 in the final. Now, he finished seventh place in the final, so it looked like, oh, you underperformed, but he really performed to his best there. So it's to the point that he can perform to his best again at these Olympic Games. I just think we probably agree it's not going to be enough to take down the top guys.
So he'll go at least 70. He went 79 at trials. He'll go 79 or 80 potential, or based off of that. He's shown that he could do that at a championship,
Something
basically.
around there. Yeah, yeah,
See,
yeah.
I
You're
disagree
in.
with that for this reason. I feel like, hey, I'm gonna go crazy with this part for a moment. People be acting. There's two factors we don't want to that people we don't consider when we get so married to the clock. One is the dumb idiot one, which is just the win factor of the race. 1.8 versus the championships don't ever be positive one. I just did it. I just looked at 2015 till now. You don't get more than a plus one in a championship. We don't.
1.8 in
So,
Eugene.
yeah, that's a 1.8 Eugene, as some people would say. For the record, it's 1.8 Eugene
Supposed to
versus
clarify
he's
that
not going to
aspect.
get plus one. Like, nobody's gotten a plus one or like more than a plus one in the last decade in a championship world or Olympics. It just hasn't happened. You're either going to get less than that, like a point 0.8 to about a negative point 0.5. That's what you're going to get when it comes to the wind. And then the next thing is the same way that clutch time matters in basketball, where the last 2 minutes, these guys don't shoot the same way. There's guys who don't want the rock in the last 2 minutes.
Hmm.
They could
Yeah,
shoot in the
yeah,
second quarter when it's 6 minutes
yeah.
left on the clock. But in the
Right.
last 2 minutes, because in their minds, they're now all the shots matter, but now it feels like this shot is consequential. And I think that's where Noah excels, where it's like he's the only one who has proven consistently that when the moment comes, he's unfazed. Usain Bolt did the same thing. When the
But Noah
moment
knows
came,
this too.
he was
He knows this.
unfazed. But then everybody else is just a little rickety compared to, like that's I think that's what we're witnessing now. It doesn't mean they're not fast. It doesn't mean they don't run good races for what they've got. It's just he's the only person who I actually think is going to run his best quality race of the season in that moment. And I have no confidence in anybody, Oblique, Kishane, or anyone else, that they're going to run their actual best. Their coach might dial them in so that they're in a good shape to
This is a
run.
really good point, man.
But that doesn't mean like you were supposed to run faster because of the way I did the training blocks. Like, so obviously the time is going to be decent. But like, are you actually gonna dial in your best quality race in that moment? Probably not. And at that moment, if this is now a game where we running for medals, we ain't just running for clocks.
Yeah, it comes down to racing at some point, and it's the finals. It's going to be fast. Everyone's so the actual times don't mean anything. It's a
Yeah,
race, man.
yeah.
It's a race. So who's getting to that line first? That's all it is.
Okay,
The
so
clock's going to
So,
do what it does.
but before we close on this though, are there any other guys? You mentioned Kashane, Oblique, Noah, Kenny. We didn't mention the guys who won medals last time, Letsile or Zarnell. Do we see them factoring factoring in any way?
Jarnell,
Saving it just
Zarnell, I feel better about than
Zarnell's
Letsile
been
right
having
now.
a pretty good year.
I feel like Zarnell, like the way he's been performing at GST. I mean, Anthony, let me know if you agree with this. I feel like seeing his GST, seeing his Prefontaine, adding it all up. I think he did well at UK championships or what have you, or
Hmm.
like in general. I'm like, yeah, you looking like a finalist.
he looks very solid.
He looks like a finalist.
Uh, he looks, which is prestigious, mind you,
Hmm.
considering the depth of the what's out there right now. We know he's going to be in the final. Um, it's just there's a place that we see some of these guys are able to go that he hasn't gone yet,
Yeah.
and he's gonna need to go there for us to think that he's gonna go there. Yeah, he medaled. Um, he medaled in 2023, but it wasn't a sufficient enough performance for us to always think that he's going to
Yeah.
be a medalist, and that's not a. We're just going off what we're seeing,
Yeah.
he's probably going to build through the rounds and everything. It's just where he can go. Uh, I don't know about that. And then as far as Letsile, I've always said Letsile is very, very obviously being a medalist in the 100. He's obviously really good in the 100, but I don't see 9.7 when I look at him.
Yeah.
He
No,
just doesn't seem like that
yeah.
style of runner. You'll
Yeah.
get some really fast times out of him. You'll get some consistent times, but 9.7, I don't see it.
Yeah.
I always say he should do the 2 and 4, which is crazy because he's so good in the 100. But I think he can run 42 seconds.
Yeah, I think, well, I'd say he can hit the 9.8 on his best day, like 9.85. I think that's about where his range kind of lands him. Again, I'm thinking about these still win races. I can see
Mm.
9.85. I can see 9.86. I can see 9.87. I see him on the same plane as Kenny. The difference is Kenny showed it to us this season, and the Thiele, we just be betting that he's just gonna find it when it's
Yeah.
time to find it. Kenny showed us at least it's there. That's why nobody's disrespecting him in terms of like the final. It's just that and that's why he's in this unique category where even in the 200, I mean, some other people have called him the Silver Surfer, and it's like, ugh. I mean, it's weird because it's like, man, you're so good, but in a sport where if you're not in first, he's the greatest example of if you're not in first place, it almost feels like you're in last. He's almost the greatest example of that in the context of people who in track. Like, if you think that's not true,
Yeah,
then how
yeah.
come we don't feel the way we should about Kenny?
It's disrespectful by
It
all of
is.
us. But but
I
respect
didn't
is
make the sport
you
like
got it.
this.
No, exactly. It's just the sport. It's just the sport, and he should understand that as a competitor. And if he's really ready for the throne, he would understand that until you have the throne, that this is what comes with it. That is the sport. That's what makes track and field track and field. That's what makes the sprints the sprints. Is
Yeah.
the thousandth of a second can change, totally
Everything.
change people's perspective on you. Totally change. Because imagine Kishane gets that thousandth last season, right? Are we as questionable about his finish?
Yeah, you're right.
Are we as
Mm.
questionable about how he handles pressure? Are
Yeah,
we as
No.
questionable as a
you're
No.
right.
thousandth? A
Literally.
thousandth.
Literally.
It totally changed. But that's the sport. But
Yep.
that's why there's nothing like the sprints, There's nothing like that 100-meter strip. That's why it is what it is, and you just got to understand that when you're in the game. That if you haven't done it, then you haven't done it, and nothing else you do in that moment.
It's true. It's true.
Well,
It's
hey, hey, I think we close it on that note. Watch the throne. Because for now, we know who's sitting on it, and we know who's supposed to take it by force. And Oblique doesn't seem to care about any of it.
Good race. It's gonna be a really good race, man. I'm excited.
My name is Anderson from the Final Leg.
And I'm Coach Rob from SCA Track and Field. And thank you for watching this segment from the finish line.
If you want to know what's really going on at the high school and college level, be sure to subscribe to Coach Rob Track and Field.
And if you want more content on the best track and field athletes in the world, be sure to subscribe to The Final Leg.